besties, what's up? My name is Mackenzie and welcome to my channel, and welcome to a vlog in which I only read small town romance. Sorry, my apologies, my camera battery died in the middle of that intro, but today we are starting a small town romance vlog, and I wanted to hurry and go over my TBR and my initial thoughts on the first book I'm going to read for this vlog. So, the first book we're going to read for this vlog is Tell Me It's Right by Katie Wismer. It comes out, I believe, the 25th or the 26th of September, so hopefully you guys are seeing this vlog before that happens, but if you don't know, Tell Me It's Right follows our two main characters, who the names are escaping me. Oh my gosh, no, I'm so serious, what the heck? So Tell Me It's Right follows Liam and Gracie, and Gracie has recently found herself coming upon a little bit of a hard time. She recently graduated college, and unfortunately, she was not able to find a job as easy as she anticipated. So she moves back in with her brother Leo and his wife, Kava, I believe is how you say her name, and she is hoping to get a job. And one night, while she is kind of being asked about this job by her sister-in-law, Liam swoops in. He owns a tattoo shop and he's actually Leo's best friend, and he says, well, she doesn't need to look for a job because she's literally working for me, and thus starts the plot. It's like a little bit enemies to lovers-ish. Like, I wouldn't call it full enemies to lovers, but it's, yeah, enemies to lovers, brother's best friend, small town, and yeah, it has all the great things in it. So I believe I'm about like 10% of the way through and I'm really liking it so far. We just got into the main plot of the story, so I'm very excited to continue on with that. So that's book one of the vlog. We are also going to read A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver, which is book number 1 in the Gold Rush Ranch series. And then we are also going to read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey because I really need to read this. I have started it before and I was liking what I read of it. I just have never continued on with it. So those are the 3 books we are going to read in today's vlog, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. And with all that being said, I will let you guys just get in the vlog. I'm so sorry that I did not update like at all this weekend, and yeah, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say besides the fact that I finished a book, so let's talk about it. I finished Tell Me It's Right by Katie Wismer, and oh my goodness, I loved this book so much. So first off, I don't know what Katie puts in her books. I've read almost every book she's come out with besides Ruthless Ends. I'm scared of that one. I haven't read that one yet, but I've read every single book that she's come out with, and every time I read one of her books, for the good majority of the time, I read it within a few days, and this one is no exception. I literally wrought it for like, I don't know how long it took me to read. I don't care to know how long it took me to read. I wrought it like the majority of the day on Saturday. I put my phone on the charger in a different room and I read, and then yesterday we were home because we were all sick, so I literally rotted until I read this whole book. And it was so fantastic. So I don't know if I pitched it to you guys, but let me try to re-pitch it to you in a better way. So in this book, we follow our main characters, Gracie and Liam. And at the beginning of the book, we find out that Gracie has been searching for a job post-grad for a few months now, and she can't find one. So she moves back in with her older brother, Leo. And one night, while she is getting asked if she's heard back from any of the job offers, if she sent any more job applications, Liam, Leo's best friend, walks in and says, yeah, she found a job. She's working for me now. And thus begins the plot. So if you like struggling post-grad, there's a close-knit friend group in there. There's like a second chance friendship, if you will, as well, that is in there. Tattooed male main character who likes to ride skateboards, who also tattoos people. I'm trying to think. Brother's best friend, Obvi. So it's kind of like a forbidden romance in that aspect. And then like obviously it's a boss romance, but he's not, even though she's on his payroll, he's not really her boss. I don't know how to explain that, but like he's not the typical boss that you would think of, I guess. And obviously small town romance. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. I rated it 5 stars on Goodreads. It's like a 4.75 stars. Like, it is so close to being a 5, but there were moments that I was like, this is a little cheesy right now for me, which that's just how romance books are anyways sometimes, so it isn't that big of a deal. But I really highly recommend this. Hopefully I can get this vlog posted before this book comes out and get you guys to read this, because I think it is like perfect to read like while we're at the tail end of summer. I think that, yeah, it's a great book to transition from summer to fall into. Like, I really love this. I loved it. So I highly recommend it. And in case you don't want the person cover, she also has a discreet cover. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out as well. But now let's get on to the next book that we are going to read. So maybe the next book we're going to read. I picked up It Happened One Summer, and I haven't even finished the first chapter, okay? I did start reading this a while ago, and I was really liking it, but I do not remember Piper being this freaking annoying. Okay, it is obvious that I stopped in the middle of a chapter because I'm reading like what I highlighted beforehand, and I'm like, damn. This man is harsh as hell. So anyways, but if you don't know, this book follows Piper, and at the beginning of the book, she goes through a pretty public breakup, and I believe that she goes to a party right afterward and just gets completely smashed, hammered, what have you, and embarrasses the heck out of her family. And it's about her getting sent to this like small town, this small like coastal town, I'm assuming. So I'm hoping that I really like this. I tried to read the golf book by her, like Fangirl Down. I tried to read that one, and I really did not like the male love interest. He, like, I don't know. I also didn't like the female main character either, which is weird because like I don't usually have issues with female main characters, but anyways, I am worried that that's gonna happen with this, with Piper. I'm hoping that she does like grow up a little bit, but I guess we'll see. So we're gonna continue on with this, keep trucking along. Like, I'm 5 pages in so I haven't even reached where I was. I guess I stopped at like page 19, but we are slowly but swiftly running out of time to read our silly fun little summer romances because it is almost fall time and I'm ready for it because I hate the summer. Like, now that the summer does not, like, I don't have the summer off of work, there's no good reason to have it. So yeah. Other than that, I think I'm going to go and hopefully get halfway into It Happened One Summer, and then maybe I can give you guys a more full-rounded, is that a term? Anyways, I can give you guys a better synopsis of this book, but I am excited to read it nonetheless. So excited is a little bit of an overstatement, but that's okay. I am intrigued to read this. Hopefully I like it. Hi besties, what's up? Is I think the next day from the last time I updated you. It's Tuesday today, and I actually have quite a surprising turn of events. I didn't think I was going to focus so heavily on this vlog today in specifics, but I have an update for It Happened One Summer. So I am currently on page 158. I did stop in the middle of a chapter. That was a little unhinged of me, but thought I would come on here and give you initial thoughts and like a better synopsis. So in this book, we follow Piper, our main character, and I remember now. So Piper is dumped pretty publicly at this huge party where all of like the highest esteemed celebrities are, like A-list celebrities. There's a bunch of people there. She decides that instead of letting this ruin her night, she is going to pull a 22-year-old Piper out of her back pocket and throw the biggest, most wild party so that they talk about that instead of her very embarrassing public break. Well, that lands her in jail. And her sister Hannah comes and bails her out, and her dad says that she could have just costed him this huge deal with this hotel that she broke into because he was hoping to film his next movie there, I believe. And he basically says, for 90 days, you are going to go to the place where you spent the first 4 years of your life, where your dad grew up, where, because it's her stepdad, sorry. Her stepdad says this to her. So her stepdad is sending her basically to her hometown that she lived for the first 4 years of her life to kind of ground her again. And that in turn makes her sister Hannah say, no, dad, I'll go with her. It's fine. Like, we'll both go. And so there's that POV. And then we follow Brandon as well. And Brandon is kind of this broody, grumpy fisherman. And when he first sees Hannah and Piper, he's like, this is ridiculous. They've obviously made the wrong turn somewhere. They're just looking for directions, whatever. And then they find out that they're staying there. And he kind of gives Piper a hard time because, like, she's an heiress. Like, she's rich. She's, like, I don't want to call her an airhead because she's not an airhead, but she's just kind of not one with reality, right? And off on the wrong foot, but eventually they start warming up to each other. And so far, I do really like this. Really like it is an overstatement. I'm gonna be honest. I do like this, actually, though. Liking it a lot more than I thought I would. So, I really like Piper. Again, that's a little bit of an overstatement. I like Piper. I think that, especially being back where she kind of spent the first 4 years of her life, I think it's doing her good to do that and put her energy into something that's actually making a difference, because she's actually also renovating a bar that I believe her dad used to own, if I'm not mistaken. So, I do like how when she puts her mind to something, she does go for it. And I will say, for a romance book, there's no sexual tension. Like, it's not palpable. Like, usually, even when I'm listening to an audiobook, tension is palpable. Like, oh my gosh, like, they're so into each other, but they aren't doing anything about it. And I don't know, there have been a couple one-liners that I really like, but other than that, it's just kind of meh, to be honest. How Brandon's character kind of progresses and grows throughout this story, because he did lose his wife 7 years previous to the beginning of the story, and we see him grappling with the fact that he feels like he could have done more to prevent her death, even though that was, like, proven wrong, basically. basically. Like, no matter who you talk to, medical professionals, anybody, even if he would have been there when that happened, it wouldn't have prevented her death. So yeah, we have that too. And I like Brandon's character too. I feel like we don't know much about the characters. Like, we are halfway through this book, and I know that Piper has been labeled an airhead. She's never had a serious relationship, and she has a sister named Hannah, and her dad passed away when she was 4. That's all I know. And all I know about Brandon is that, you know, he's a widower, and he's kind of serious, and he's like stuck within his ways. But that's all I know. Like, I don't feel like the characters have a direct trajectory. My goodness, I cannot speak today. But I don't feel like they have a direct trajectory of where they're going or what they're gonna do. And like I said, like, we should know character motivations like a third of the way through the book, I feel like. Or am I just being too harsh? I don't know. I'm also reading like really phenomenal contemporary romance right now at the same time as this, and I don't know if I'm just comparing them, but like that one that I'm reading right now, like, we know the character, we feel for them, and maybe that's just because it's like an interconnected standalone series, so we kind of know the character from that. But it's like we know so much about the main female character and the main male character already, and we're halfway through that book too. So it's, I don't know, am I being too harsh on this fluffy little rom-com? Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like I'd like to see in the next little bit some character motivations. I would like to see them start kind of like continuing the path to getting together, because I also haven't seen that. Like, he had kind of like a sweet moment with her when she showed up to something, assuming that it was something else, but then it turned out to be, she turned up to something assuming it was a party. It in fact was like almost the exact opposite of a party, and she made a complete joke of herself, to be honest, and he chased her out and he comforted her, and that was really nice, and he has done really nice things for her. But I don't know, I guess I haven't seen the tension between, that's kind of what we haven't seen the tension, and I don't feel like they have top tier banter either. Like, do they have some? Sure, but I don't know. Anyways, like I said, I am liking it. It's sitting at 3-star right now, but other than that, I am going to let you guys go. I'm going to probably listen to more of the audiobook. I'm hoping that I can get to the point where I only have like half of the half left tomorrow, so that it's an easy finish, so that we can move on to the next book, because I didn't realize literally next week the first book that we read in this video is coming out, and I'd like this video to go up for the book comes out, so that like early reviews, maybe a couple people pre-order, I don't know. Anyways, so with all that being said, I will talk to you guys in a little bit with probably some final updates on this one, and then maybe if I have gotten started on Into the Races, I will give you my initial thoughts on that. But yeah, so far I'm just kind of underwhelmed by this. With all the phenomenal things that I heard about it, I'm kind of surprised I'm feeling this way. Just kind of mad, which is not a bad thing. It's something. So anyways, I will talk to you guys when I finish the book. Hi besties, what's up? I have a quick little update. I'm actually in the middle of a different readathon right now, but I thought I would hurry and come on here and talk about It Happened One Summer really quickly, because I have finished that and I am halfway through the final book in this vlog. So let's talk about it. So It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I'm so shocked to say this. I'm so surprised to say this, but not only did it make me tear up just a little bit, I was in front of people, so I did not cry. I think I could have, but I also rated it 5 stars. So I think all of my complaints with the book about halfway through were warranted, but I think they were all pretty much fixed by the end of it. I feel like we got a really good sense of who our characters were, and yeah, I really liked their dynamic. Like I said, I'm so surprised that this is 5 stars. It's been sitting on my TBR shelf for the longest time, so I'm very excited that I was able to get to that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all I really have to say about it. I really liked it. I'm really excited to read Hook, Line, and Sinker. Maybe I will read that for like a finishing book series I'm in the middle of vlog sometime soon, but if I don't, I don't know. But I would like to read that, even though it's not on my physical TBR technically. So there is book number 2 for this vlog done, and now let's talk about book number 3. So this one, I literally don't know where I put it, but started Off to the Races by Elsie Silver, the first book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, I believe is what it's called. And in this book, we follow our main characters Billy and Vaughn. And at the beginning of the book, we find out that Vaughn's grandpa has passed away, and he has been mourning him and mourning his memory, because apparently there were some shady dealings going on with his grandpa. And so the beginning
in the beginning, yeah, in the
beginning, at the start of this book, we find out that not only is he trying to save this ranch that he loves so much, but he's also trying to he's trying to clear his grandpa's name. And I am going to be so honest with you. Our main female character's name is Billy Black, and all I can think of when I hear that name is Twilight. I'm sorry, it is not my fault. It is not my fault. But that is literally all I can think about, is a young Billy Black riding around on a horse. So yeah, that's going on. Yeah. That's a really niche problem to have, and I feel silly even saying that, but I do kind of picture Billy Black as I'm reading this book, like just a young strapping one, like a handsome one, but like that's not what the author was going. Kicker is Billy in this book has like reddish hair, I think, so it's like they don't even have similar descriptions. So I don't know why I'm so hung up on this, but I'm really liking it. They've had chemistry since page 1, and like that's all fine and dandy. I do kind of feel like I wish it was a little bit slower burn than it is. Like, I don't know. I'm probably just being too harsh on it, but yeah, I don't know. Things have really hit the fan since the last time I read it, so I'm excited to jump back into that. Hopefully maybe I can finish it this weekend. I'm not so sure about that though, because yeah, I'm in the middle of a readathon, so was not thought through, but at least I can edit up to this point in this vlog and then just finish off the last, I think, hour and a half that I have in the audiobook. But I am liking it though. I'm not liking it as much as the Chestnut Springs series. I think that I went into the series expecting Chestnut Springs 2.0, and I don't feel like I'm getting that, obviously, which is kind of a bummer, but it makes sense because like this is Elsie's first series. Like I shouldn't have expected perfection for her first series, because no author's first series is perfection except for Throne of Glass. That is perfection. But yeah, I feel like she in the Chestnut Springs books has really kind of nailed down the perfect slow burn and the perfect will they won't they, and in this one it kind of seems like they're jumping back and forth quite a bit, but it's not like I don't feel like there's any tension. I could be wrong, although there was quite a contentious scene earlier, but obviously it's like kind of forbidden romance because he's her boss. And like, yeah, boss romances, I don't know, I kind of like them. Not IRL, but like in books, that's safe. So I think that's all I have to say on that right now. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Besties, what's up? I am here to wrap up the vlog and give you some final reading updates. So I did in fact just finish Off to the Races by Elsie Silver, and I have some bittersweet news to share with you. While I liked it, unfortunately this book did not compare to the Chestnut Springs series, unfortunately. I'm not saying I didn't like this, but like I think what I said previous still stands. I don't feel like I felt the connection and I don't know, the chemistry between the characters. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep this book for now. I'm gonna read the rest of the series and then decide if I'm gonna keep them. If I don't, I guess I'm gonna have all the ones with these. So yeah, I don't know. And honestly, this is a third act breakup that I think is like really realistic. Well, as realistic as multi-billionaire cowboys is realistic, but like I don't know how the person that really caused this was forgiven so quickly. I don't know. It just wasn't great. So just as a reminder, I read Tell Me It's Right by Katie Wismar, rated that 4 to 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed that book. Definitely check it out when it comes out. Then I read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Also loved that book. 5 stars. So great. And then obviously Off to the Races. And unfortunately it just wasn't my favorite, but it is what it is. So, and 3 stars for that if I didn't say it. So I think that is all that I have for this video. So if you like me, if you like my face, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to see it again, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified every time I post a new video, go ahead and honestly follow me on Instagram. But if you don't have an Instagram, click the notification bell and cross your fingers that it works. And with all that being said, I will talk to you later. Bye everyone.
When you're not here, the sun don't shine. When you're not near, I don't feel like I do when you're